Yo, 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 what's popping? What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the PODICAST on a Wednesday on the Local Corner Multimedia YouTube page. And yeah, man, another exciting episode for you guys. Shout out to our main sponsors, Mpho Media, for the amazing furniture. Of course, we come at you from Elite Deck, a proudly BW-owned business by a young lady that we always try to get you guys to come through to an experience for your baby showers, your little intimate get-togethers. You know, like I always say, you don't have to take everything to restaurants, to public areas. Some things are just, you know, you want to enjoy it with your family, you want to enjoy it with some close ones. So check out Elite Deck. They are on Facebook, they're on every social media platform, and you can come through here and host your friends and your family, okay? Now, in the house today, our guest is the newly elected president of the Botswana Democratic Party. Excuse me. His name is Mr. Mpho Balopi. He is coming into this role at a time when the Botswana Democratic Party is rebuilding after losing government for the first time after 58 years in power. And he has pledged to unite the party, reconnect with Botswana, and lead a process of renewal aimed at taking the party back to government. Now, beyond politics, Mr. Balopi, of course, is a larger-than-life figure that we know through business and also the civil service, and also his party life. But today we get to know about the man and also his plans for the country. Man, without further ado, welcome to the house, Mr. Mpho Balopi.
Thank you,
Hello,
thank you, my man.
Little group, man.
Yo, I can't what's up, man?
I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah, no, excellent.
For some of us, by and large, you know, we're like business owners. We like to call ourselves business owners.
Yeah.
You are a big deal. You know, you're one of those people that we know about and we aspire to be like. I think just to start it off from the top, though, who is Mpho Balopi? How did you end up getting into business and all of that? Just before we get into the rough terrain of our conversation.
Oh, yes. I'm just an ordinary son of the soil.
Yes, sir.
One of two very well-grounded parents.
Yes, sir.
Tonot. Originally, my father comes from Tonot. I'll say that.
Yes, sir.
But our ancestors are from Mosojani. Yes, and the connection Aruna with my paternal grandmother is from Serowe.
Okay.
Yes, that's where I have a linkage with Hotsosa. And my mother is a Muhuruti, from Lihuruti in South Africa. Yeah. But obviously, she's been here forever, married by my dad in the early 60s, I think.
Yes, sir.
Your 60s, somewhere. Because my firstborn brother was born 1962.
Oh, okay.
And then, yes. But my father, for the longest time, he worked in Lobatse.
Okay.
Yeah, during those years before, you know, independence, pre-independence. So when I was born in Bamalete Lutheran Hospital.
Okay.
In 1969.
Okay.
1st of August. But then we were not staying in Ramazwa. My parents were staying in Lobatse.
Okay.
So I was born while we were staying in Lobatse, and then proceeded to Kanye. My father then worked in Kanye. That's where I started my primary school in a school called King George.
Okay.
Primary school. And then fast forward, they decided to have a home, a permanent home in Ramazwa, where I was born. Okay. Remember when I was born, we were not there yet.
I didn't see you.
You guys were not, even ourselves, the parents were not staying in Ramazwa.
Okay.
So in the mid-70s.
You had to travel to go to find good schools at that time, or what was it?
No. That time we were staying in Kanye, remember?
Okay.
As they were building a home, a family home next to Gaborone.
Okay.
You know, Gaborone, I always say, hey, I'm very thankful to my parents where the center was Gaborone, but they managed to find another home, which is Ramuzwa, an extension of Gaborone, you understand? So I grew up in and around Gaborone, Kanye, Lobatse. That's where, when I was born, we stayed. Then my secondary school, in Ramuzwa, tertiary, Gaborone, and all that.
Yes, sir.
And other schools until I attained my master's. So, at the end of the day, one would say, as you were asking me earlier, what really drove me to become, I've always been, those who schooled with me, those who know me, I've always been this very upfront person.
Yes, sir.
Somebody who always wanted to swim against the tide, who always wanted to do things that other people are not doing.
Yes,
you understand? So I did not work for too long. My first job was Standard Chartered Bank.
Okay.
Yeah, in
Economics.
my Standard Chartered Bank. The bank.
Okay.
When I started
of
account, yes, and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And accounting and all that. So at the end of the day, I started working for the bank and then went back again to school.
Yeah.
And then when you finished, I worked for Cresta Hospitality, which was under you remember there was a company called TA Holdings, which was partnering with Cresta at that time.
Okay, yeah.
So it had a lot of people, mainly from Zim, who were in the financial space of the hotels.
Yeah.
It was a partnership between BDC and that company.
Yeah.
I think it was Cresta Maracanelo and TA Holdings and all that. So, currently I don't know how the thing is. So I was employed, worked for the hotel, and ultimately I was, taken around the hotels to establish the internal audit and then came back to Botswana. It was just about 4 years or so.
Yes, sir.
After that. Remember when I started working for Standard Chartered, there were only 3 banks in Botswana. And I always tell people that, I'm very happy to see how the country has developed over the years and all these other things. When I tell my children and you, maybe, you might remember you are young, but not very, very, very young.
Yes, sir. Everybody 80s had.
They are. Okay. So there was Standard Chartered Bank, there was Barclays Bank, and there was Bank of Credit and Commerce.
Okay.
So the Bank of Credit and Commerce was the one that was bought by FNB.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm not that old.
Yes. That time, when you work for a bank, it used to be a big deal.
Yeah.
It was like when you were a member of the BDF, and you work for a bank, then just like when it was very, very important when you were a teacher.
Yes, sir.
Before some of these modern jobs. Teachers have always been, and I still respect them up to now myself, because they are agents of change. I always call them that,
Yes, sir.
After, the Almighty who actually created us.
Yes, sir.
Intellectually and otherwise, teachers play another role of molding us beyond that, to make us who we are. So, beyond all that, I felt I should enterprise.
Yeah.
Yes, I should enterprise. I started off my entrepreneurship skills with a shoe company called Alemo some years ago.
Okay.
I worked with Mema Molefe, then Alice Molefe established Alemo. We are the first to bring the Bronxes of this world.
Hey,
the Antonio and all that.
When did you guys find Bronx? Kind of Bronx was a definition, similar when we were growing up. If you didn't have Bronx shoes, so you are the one who started the pandemic.
So, that thing started at a shop called Alemo by Noma Tata. Yeah. Opposite Muchachos. There was a shop called Muchachos.
Yes, sir.
Students from Mariapula, the side, and everywhere else. Bronx became a big deal.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was Doc Martens.
Still you guys are the culprits. Hey.
He brought the Doc Martens those years, and it was very exciting, But then, yes, after all that, fast forward, I've always believed that I'm a prolific entrepreneur. And my entrepreneurial skills were not emanating from having seen somebody doing something.
Yeah.
Other people were doing.
Yes, sir.
Then when I was working for Cresta, which is a very interesting story, there was an issue of, without detailing how it happened, a company called Inter-Africa, COPCRO.
Okay.
Which was an outdoor company. I didn't even know what outdoor company was that time. Yeah. We're looking at, localizing a position of operations. That was when we just experienced the advent of telephony, like in a different form, like your cell phones.
Cell phones, yes, sir.
Yeah. Mascom had just started. And then there was this company called Vista that was coming. So I was employed. I didn't know much about the industry.
Yeah.
So now I'm departing completely from my profession and what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm recruited by this company, and I was trying to be reluctant, doubling up my salary so that they don't recruit me. If they do recruit me, they pay me a lot.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that I'm dealing with a South African company that has money.
Yeah.
So literally, when they were recruiting me from my job, because of how I helped them when I was with Cresta, there were certain things that happened in the business that sort of created that opportunity for me to meet this company called Inter Africa from South Africa. So they were impressed with my way of working, my interpersonal skills, they were saying, and I told them, I don't know anything about your business. Yeah. They said, but we will teach you. Yeah. But from what you have experienced, I think you are teachable. Yeah. You can learn very quickly and you are assertive. And maybe this is the kind of person that you want. Before we get into trouble with government, please accept us. Yeah. So I doubled my salary, I doubled my allowances, I demanded this so that they don't touch me. So because I loved what I was doing that time. But then they called me to South Africa, to the head office. And then they told me that, okay, we received your offer. And we agree with it. So all of a sudden, I became this young man who is earning a lot of money. Yeah. Then it was a lot of money. Right now, I don't think it's anything. So that's how I then got into the business of, advertising native. This is how Native Outdoor came about. Yes, sir. But before I go there, because Inter Africa now is called JC Decor. Mm-hmm. It became Clear Channel. It became something else. Now it's JC Decor. That's the same company that started off as Inter Africa. Okay. Out of home company, yes. I think it was established in the 80s here in Botswana. And nobody knew what outdoor was at that time.
Advertising was not a big deal.
Yeah, I know it was not a big deal. Yeah. It was not a big deal. So then I worked for them for some time. Then I was the first to get them a very big contract with Vista. I drove around the whole country, all corners of this country, identifying sites, signing contracts with landlords, and then ultimately pitching to Orange. Yeah. And it was a real-time pitching because it was not about we pitch and then you go and find sites. I came with ready sites and all that. So Orange, because they were chasing what Mascom was doing already, they decided, we are taking this one because we're going to be able to put up billboards within a short space of time and all that. And 2 years later, they were now being sold. And I demanded that maybe they should give me shares in the company because I've done a lot for them. They were saying they were amenable. Yeah. But then they were bought by Clear Channel, some American big company. And that fell on the wayside. And when it fell on the wayside, I decided to go back to Cresta. Yeah. And when I was going back to Cresta also, they were hard hunting me again. Yeah. So they increased my salary again. So the first 4 or so years, things were happening, and I had just gone married in 1999. Yeah. So my life was really changing. That's why I could afford to go and buy a plot in Pakalai in 1999.
Those are the good old days. Where are those opportunities these days, man? Every single time,
and people don't know that in 1999, I got married in May 1999. July, the phase 3 plots of Pakalani, when they were still in Broadhurst there, the Mahans were operating their business there. We used to rush. There used to be rush hour. When we were told that the Pakalani plots are out, if you don't rush there, even if it's the middle of the night, you won't find a plot. That's how good this country was those days. So we rushed there. We were just about a month or two. Yeah. Me and my wife, we rushed to that place, and we found a plot. It was 85,000 pula, 1,224 square meter plot. 85,000 pula. Yeah, so you can imagine. Yeah, at times when people talk, "Hey, Balopi did this," but I said, "No, these guys don't know. We started very early."
No, I think it's also because you look young, Mr. Balopi. Like when you say it, it's like okay, they think you're as old as they are. Yeah. So they're like, how
did it happen?
How did it happen? Yeah,
yeah. So we bought a plot there, but then that's when you started building a home. I started staying in Pakalani, I think, in 2001. Mm-hmm. My firstborn child was born 2000, my second born 2001. My son Atang and my daughter Ratile. My son is named after my father, my daughter after my mother, and I'm married to a lady called Cheza. Cheza Nibutali. So you can see we are hardcore BDP.
All the way.
All the way.
No, I love it.
So I then started, when I was working for this outdoor company, I realized how advertising worked. Remember, it's not my area in terms of training or maybe academic qualifications or whatever. So I realized that, you know what, for you to be able to have this kind of business really operating, because these companies were getting a lot of clients from South Africa. And international, companies, institutions such as banks and all that. Whenever Standard Bank, Guma-Moyo. So I realized that there's a thing called an agency. So you need to have an agency for you to get adverts to get to this thing. So in 2003, I decided to establish a company called Native Impressions. So Native Impressions, I dreamt about it. I didn't know what I'm going to call my business. One day I was thinking, so I want something that can communicate in a simple manner, acting globally, but thinking globally, but acting locally, like the local concept. To say, communications have always been there. People used to use drums to communicate. They used to use horns to communicate, call meetings in different ways. And when I mapatsa Pokwana, it's which is advertising basically. You know what I'm saying? I said, but communication is about your audience understanding what you are talking about. So you have to simplify it. Instead of somebody
localize it.
Localize it so that when you see something, you can sort of relate with it. With immediate effect. That's when I established Native Impressions. And my God, because of the concept that we started and the thinking around doing things differently, most agencies were basically aligned, or they were franchised, so to speak. You had your Ogilvy's, you have Erickson McCann's, you had your a number of them. You know what I'm saying? So you'll find that these are sort of franchise entities. I decided, no, I'm not going to touch that. Mine is going to be...
was a big thing in Botswana.
Very, very big. Because, of course, looking at the market, people are relying on what others are doing so that they can actually benefit from that value chain. When, like, for instance, if Barclays, which was a British company, has appointed, say, Ogilvy in somewhere. So here, whoever the agency will be affiliated with Ogilvy will automatically do the business with Barclays. They will get
that
it
makes
here.
sense now.
That's how it was.
So you were actually now starting up your own business. You were creating opportunities for yourselves.
Exactly. And then I started targeting very, very brilliant people from different advertising agencies. I don't want to say how many agencies closed because of Native. A number of them closed. We used to have all the clients that you can think of, premium clients. Native Impressions could, at that particular time, fire a client. Because the client, because it was... it was
a big deal. Guys don't know. Like, I don't think there was anything that Native Impressions didn't have their hand in. I know now, I think it's the Dialogues of the World. But that was you guys back then. Every business that you can think of, we are the ones who evolved the BBS brand from being a society to being a bank. We established so many brands. Your Botswana Oil, the brand development and everything, Botswana National Sports Council, the whole removal of coat of arms in other thing was done by Native. Everything that was government used to have this national, your coat of arms and then the name, because so that it exactly affiliates with government in one or the other from a branding perspective. So we started, at times, if I'm to talk about what we did as Native in terms of which institutions we touched, almost all the banks, entirely all the banks, we worked with them. Your telecoms, your Mascoms, your Orange. It's a whole other interview on its own.
It's a big one.
It's a huge one. I don't even know why I tested it. You know what I mean? But your name in itself, and also I think that's why you're also a big deal to like young entrepreneurs, because they know that, you started it from.
But
from
you know what
ground
made me
zero.
a big deal?
Yes, sir.
Also, when we were doing that, people were shocked that they could just be this person who is not necessarily from the mainstream communication space.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Who can then come in and do this thing. And then I went to UB at some point. I was invited there to be one of the presenters, invited by the business clinic. And then we established after that, everyone who listened to me at that particular time, I wish I could get about 10 of what I was those years. I was very dynamic and very, So I said to the person who was actually the person who was responsible for the business clinic at UB under the Faculty of Business.
Yeah.
There was this business clinic. So they invited me after that, after giving my speech. All the young people just wanted to talk to me.
Yeah.
Every day they'll call me, you want this, can you come to your business for internship and all that.
Yeah.
Then I decided that we should have a platform where we can then talk to them all at the same time and start imparting skills, entrepreneurial skills.
Yes, sir.
So we established what we call YIF, Young Entrepreneurial Empowerment Forum. So I was a lecturer every Thursday at UB under the business clinic, talking to people about doing business without capital.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the environment and even the population and everybody else and start kicking in.
Yeah.
Example, I'll just give you 2 examples. And after this, just depart from this thing because it's a huge thing,
No, on the other side of your life.
It's a big thing that I want to revisit it.
Yeah.
I have about recorded, those that I have their profiles and everything, almost 18 companies, which partly there are people who I worked with. People who used to work with me. Whenever they left Native, nobody wanted to work for anybody else.
They wanted to
start their own companies.
Yeah.
The top agencies right now, your blue chips, your design surgeries, your Publicos, your all those, they are from Native.
Those are big players in this space.
All those boys, I used to teach people. I used to tell them that I don't want you to look at me and expect me to give you fish. I want to teach you how to go out there and look for it and catch it.
Awesome
so
stuff.
All of them do that. So from YIF, at some point, I was shocked when Honorable Minister Boholo Kadeyendo came to be, as we are colleagues now in politics. He said to me, do you know where you met me? I said, no. He said, no, I used to attend your YIF thing, such an inspiring concept. Why did you stop doing it? Some businesses were established, such as, I used to tell them that at UB, start doing business as students. They said, how? I said, hey, at that time, you're talking about 18,000 plus minus students. Right now, there are lots.
Yeah.
I said, you eat bread every day. That's an example. Instead of waiting for Capri, you remember Capri?
Capri, yeah.
Instead of waiting for Capri to deliver bread to the school, or you going to Poppin or whatever, buying fed cakes and everything else, what you should do, create a business where you take orders from your fellow students. Take orders. Because after 6 or 7, you study. At 10, you need to eat something.
Yeah.
So bread is always the thing. It's bread and all that. So go to Capri and say, we want to place orders for students outside your normal orders of taking, loaves of bread to shops and whatever. And then what you do then, Capri will have a captive market. They wouldn't have to bake or not bake because they don't know who is going to buy.
Yeah.
They can count every day, maybe you talk about 5,000 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are a business from school here, a few of you from YIF. Then you go to them and say, you're going to give you the orders and you're going to come to UB to deliver. You want to take these loaves of bread and distribute to those who ordered.
Yes, sir.
And then you give us 10% discount. They said that to who? To Capri.
Yeah.
So Capri will do that.
Yeah.
Give them 10%. They are making, how much did they spend? Nothing.
Doubt.
And I said, now that you have the orders of bread, go to Moscow. Say to them, the plastic that covers this bread, you want it branded.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some units, whatever, packages, bundles, and
whatever
everything.
they need put
whatever
out there.
they need put out there, because students were consuming these bundles and airtime and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So once they brand this plastic, this bread will be covered anyway.
Yeah.
But brand it so that when a student holds it like that, First is the brand.
Information as well.
Information as well.
Yeah.
And charge must come maybe 25 tab whatever per plastic for branding.
I hope they're listening. I mean, because right now students are complaining about, the allowances and not being able to make money because the rates and all of that. All of the stuff is so expensive now that they all need a little business on the side. So I love that you put that out there. So guys, come on now. This is the time to do it. I'm sorry to rush you a little
and many
bit.
other examples. That's why I'm saying, you know what? I want 3 hours of... in fact, I don't want 3 hours. I'm offering you.
Yeah.
Because I haven't offered anybody this
Yes, sir.
before. I did talk to somebody at some point and he didn't take up the opportunity. And I'm offering you this. I want us to reignite this youth thing.
Yes, sir.
Where, unemployed youth and everybody else come together in a church form. People go to churches Saturdays, Sundays, and even during the week to worship, to praise and worship, of course. But you need to create an opportunity where people can come together and gather and share their experiences in business, share their thoughts, and be able to tap from those with the experience.
Yes, sir.
So that people can start, this will help in many ways, one.
Yeah.
To instill entrepreneurial skills, to also ease their nerves, but also to take them away from certain things, going in the streets and performing other things which are not desirable. So let's think about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then I can avail myself still every Thursday in the evenings, wherever. You can actually at some point go around the country and talk to youth about these opportunities.
I love it.
Because you don't necessarily have to have money to start a business. I didn't have a tab. If I can tell you how I started Native Impressions, nothing, not even a coin. It was just a concept that I sold, and I wanted those that bought the concept to finance it. And that was it.
No.
So, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's out there. The jewels are out there. It's up to whoever catches them to be able to take advantage of it. I'm going to move us into your life now. And first of all, congratulations on your election as BDP president. I want to ask how you got into politics. Why politics when you were so successful at business?
Hey, you are all politicians, by the way. The only challenge is that as politicians, we choose not to have a voice or to have a voice. You choose to ignore that which creates an opportunity or not create an opportunity for you. You choose to be somebody and you say when I say. But you have to understand that if you house at saying one and the other, you choose or you don't care.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who comes in and shape your future or whatever. You don't care. So we are all politicians. However, then there are those who are talkative, and those who are brave. Those who believe that they have some element of, influence. And those who are thought leaders. Different type of people in the way that they want things to be done. Ultimately, these people want to be somewhere where they can be heard. So I'm from a political family, I've always known politics. I've always seen people come into our home because my uncle, people think Patrick Balopi is my father's younger brother.
Okay.
But I grew up so much close to him, and my uncle's children were very close to my father. So there used to be confusion as to who belongs to who here.
You have a problem that I have. People think I'm Gas Matlawapiri's son, but he's cousins with my father. Their fathers are brothers, but you end up because of your surname.
Again, because maybe since you are in the space that you are in, you might have loved his loudness and being out there, so you might have associated with me a lot. So I've always, because of this thing, I've always been close to politics and understanding politics. When I was doing Standard 5, we used to have what you call Commonwealth Day. I don't know whether it's still there.
I don't think they only do June 16 nowadays. I don't think they do.
So they like violence. No. They used to have. We used to
celebrate it when I was at primary.
Commonwealth. Even the national anthem of England. When they sing right now in the World Cup, I sing with them.
People don't know. I don't know. Why were we singing that anthem?
Because you are part of the Commonwealth.
I knew that thing off the top of the head. Lord, save
and you speak that language anyway.
Hey. You know what? No, colonization daughter is deep.
It's deep. All of us sang it. Even now, Ella, my daughter is always looking at me and said, hey, that's why we are where we are. Those guys were so colonized.
No, we knew too. Hey.
Yeah, so we've seen that. So that Commonwealth Day, then we are celebrating Parliament. Our parliamentary system borrowed from the British system.
Yes, sir.
So when I was doing Standard 5, we were taught by some gentleman called Mr. Mutsola. I remember him very well. Mm. Then he decided that, look, we are going to, and that was in 1980.
Yeah.
The year Sasra Sakhama passed on.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to have a play that actually reflects our parliamentary systems, and we are going to have members of parliament here, we're going to have ministers here, we're going to have what here.
Yeah.
So, it's a play.
Yeah.
So because I'm Mpho Balopi,
yeah,
and Patrick Balopi at that time was a member of parliament for Francistown and Minister of Home Affairs.
Yes, sir.
So they made me play that part.
Yeah.
So, all the time when you introduce yourself at the beginning or at the end of the play,
yeah,
you'll say, Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Patrick Balopi, Mpho Balopi.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. You say the character and your name.
Yeah. You say your character and then your name.
Yes, sir.
So people will clap hands and whatever. Say, this one is, again, they didn't know you're still young.
Yeah.
So I played that role there in Parliament. And after that, I was, at the end of the year, part of the awards that I got was that thing of being a good actor,
yeah,
and being able to, and again I had a voice, at a young age I was a bit,
yeah,
my voice was a bit deep,
so
it was a bit unusual.
Yes, sir.
So that drove me. When I got home, my father was laughing, my mother, they were like, oh, so you're doing like your uncle now, and all. Even him, when you meet, you know how it is.
Yes, sir.
So I think from that age I started observing and looking at politics differently from just reading in the daily news or Kutlwano or whatever.
Yes, sir.
And then fast forward, I became very active. The first time I voted was in 1989. Mm-hmm. First time I voted. Because it was, I had just finished, maybe a year before, I had just finished my Cambridge. Mm-hmm. So obviously I had 16.
Yeah.
You get your mang at that level. And then I became active.
Yeah.
In politics, because my father will say, my mother was involved in the structures of the BDP while my father was still working.
Yeah.
And then my father was involved when he retired.
Okay.
And then he went back to the land board, how they used to do it. Then my mother remained there. So I used to go with her to all these events and all that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I became very active around 93, 94.
Okay.
In 94, I was part of the, you have this what we call subcommittees or the central committee.
Yes, sir.
This young man is part of it right now.
Yes, sir.
So you remember it, your other committees. So I was there under Remasire's time. Yeah. And Remohai came in, and also I continued. Rekhama came in, I continued. Ramasisi came in. And I was Secretary General of Rekhama.
Yeah.
And then Secretary General Yahar Ramasisona. It's only me and Rakwala who served 2 presidents and Secretary Generals.
Okay.
And then, so ultimately I just found that's how I became and I never wanted to be like in the forefront, going to participate in parliamentary elections. I've always wanted to be like the dada of the BDP,
in the background.
In the background and in the business.
Yes, sir.
And doing stuff, that's what I've always wanted. But unfortunately, even though I was very active and I wanted to always be behind the scenes, I remember the late Homolemo Motswaledi, may he so rest in peace, he used to shout at me all the time and say, hey, man, we are doing all the hard work this side, but you don't want to jump in and be in the front. I said, yeah, it's cool to be behind the scenes. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
And all that. So at the end of the day, BMD was formed. Mm-hmm. The rest is history. When they left, I remained with 1 or 2. Then others left also. So I became the Secretary General.
Okay.
So that's when then I really, really exerted myself as a politician, groomed by the last cohort of elderly people, the likes of Bo Rekwala Hobe, the likes of Bo Rekidikile, the likes of Bo Remerafi, and many others,
Yes,
you
sir.
know, who were there. Bomme Matipi, may he rest in peace, Borre Klomelang, and many others, you know, as an SG for elderly people. So I learned a lot from them. And as we were progressing, I became a member of parliament, and I became a minister of home affairs, by the way.
Yes, sir.
You know, remember Standard 5?
What's crazy? Full circle moment.
Remember Standard 5?
Yeah.
And then, so at times, things like those can happen. And then at some point, I thought I've retired from politics. I thought I've contributed. I've been there for a very long time. Unfortunately, the BDP lost. And I want to say this, you know, when you lost power, one had to reflect. You know, God, some people don't believe in God. I believe in God.
No, we believe
I'm a Christian, brought up in a very, very strong Christian environment. And I always believe that I'm not superstitious.
Yeah.
No. But I believe that things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So at times when we are taught or when we are nurtured, when we are groomed to be something we think is for ourselves, and we believe that it's self-gratification, you have to go around and say, you know, I have this, I've been taught that. When we lost, I thought, hey, of a lot of people that I know, a person who have served this party at the highest level for a very long time is myself.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a beneficiary of a whole lot of wisdom and knowledge from the old guard of the BDP. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to now raise my hand and say, I can contribute. Contribute, not I can take.
Yeah.
I can contribute.
Yes, sir.
Because it's always very important to understand that some people, maybe your posture, Eska or whoever, people might think, well, hey, this guy is arrogant, self-serving and all that. But when they get to know you and you're closer to them, they'll realize that you are something else.
I think it was the suits.
Yeah.
The suits were on point. They're like, that's an unapproachable guy, you know. But the more you
I used to love my suits. I used to love my cars.
Yeah.
And at a young age, I was staying where I was staying then.
Yeah.
People used to think, hey. Oh, by the way, you know when you're talking earlier about this place.
Yes, sir.
My first house to stay on my own with my cousin, independent at the age of about 23, was here in Phase 4.
Phase 4, baby.
Down the road there's a plot, 23861. I remember that plot.
That's when you
can remember, you can imagine why I remember it, because I was at the peak of my life. So when I saw this place, it just brought this nostalgia. And I just thought, very soon I'm going to invite my guys to this place.
Yes, sir.
To have a session of some sort and enjoy ourselves here, because it will bring back that nostalgia, and everything else. So be rest assured, very soon we'll be here.
I love it.
To do, something. So at the end of the day, I'm where I am as a politician. It was because of the past experience, the principles that I have learned from my, predecessors or our old guards.
Yes.
And then now we are in the opposition as a party. Now we have to transition. Yeah. So how do we transition? That's one thing that is very, very critical. Yes.
I want to ask on that point. So is that your plan? Is it to rebuild the BDP completely, or is it about restoring the party to its former position of dominance?
Restoring it to its former position of dominance. Let me put this: not restored. BDP is still dominant.
Okay.
BDP is still dominant. Let me. There's no party in this country that can host or have activities every single weekend, not one activity in one place. Maybe 2-3 activities happening simultaneously in different places.
Yes,
only BDP can do that right now, because we've got the numbers, we've got the people. Just borrowing from the previous elections, we've got about 30.4%. The ruling party is 30.7% with 3 parties in it. And the other one, 20% or so with BCP and all that. We're voted for by 254, maybe average 255,000 people. The UDC was elected into power by 311,000 people, average, in terms of when you round it up.
Collectively?
It was 310, collectively actually, not average, collectively. 311. So if the difference is about 56, is it?
Hey,
about 56,000.
Calculator.
Yeah,
but it's not that
56,000.
far off for 3 against 1.
Yeah,
the
and
popular
then divide
vote
that by 61. 61 constituencies.
Oh.
So on average, BDP was led by the ruling party 922 votes in each and every constituency. 922. That's very scary for the ruling party and very encouraging for the BDP.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I'm saying it's not a question of rebuilding, it's just regrouping and correcting the mistakes of the past and ensuring that you are a people-centric party,
yes, sir,
like you've always been.
Yes, sir.
Our values and principles are well documented.
Yeah. No doubt. Many former BDP supporters felt, according to what we see online and out there, that the party became disconnected from ordinary citizens. I don't know if you feel this is something you're going to tackle under your leadership. What are the immediate changes Botswana should expect to see under your leadership?
You know, yes, mistakes are bound to happen when we've been doing something for a very long time. 58 years of leading a country, eventually we can take maybe things for granted and think, we used to say, you remember that? A donkey will grow horns if the opposition can take over this thing. Now, I said to some people over the weekend that if BDP cannot regain power, then a donkey will grow horns. Now I'm flipping it. I'm flipping it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I'm not just saying it because arrogantly or whatever. Yeah. BDP is a very, very well structured organization that adhered and reflected the wishes of the society that we're operating within as an institution. The BDP, people don't know that, is one of the parties that established structures such as the ward, the branch, the region, and all that, because that's what we found our Dikosi doing. Dikosi and all that. And you can imagine the hard negotiations between Serowe Khama and the chiefs that time as to abandon your countries. There were 8 countries in Botswana. I don't know whether you know that. 8 countries in Botswana.
Led by the Khosi.
Before we attained our independence, before we became a republic.
I wonder what conversation, how he had that conversation.
Yeah, it's a very tough thing to think about, because ultimately I think at the end of the day, the conversation had to go like, I want you to give me your powers. I'll slot you somewhere.
Yeah.
I will allow you to remain being responsible for your cultural and all other things that you practice as the customary, yes, all the things that you practice. But you are now becoming a republic where I'm going to be the big boss president, and then you are going to have money now that you are going to be getting from your resources, and your resources, when you find them, they are not going to be yours alone. You are going to spread them throughout the country. You can imagine the conversation. It was a very difficult conversation. Yeah. But they managed to do that under the leadership of the BDP, where all the resources were now distributed equitably, where cultural values were sustained. We didn't say to people, now you are not going to practice your norms and all that. But over the years, these things are eroded. I'm saying BDP can restore itself when it adheres to the past, to understand. And I'm telling you this thing. For this country to be prosperous again, the key is our customary practices, is who we are. Yeah. Who we are. We have to first identify who we are before we can identify with other people. Yeah. Yeah, there's a way, the Boto thing. People think, but Botswana are very calm and very easygoing society. Botswana, they're very, very good people. Yes, sir. They are not aggressive and all that. It's something that even investors want. Yeah. That is something that even business people want. They want to operate in an environment where people are not violent, where they cannot burn your shops, if they are not happy with something, Yes. We had a quota system where, unfortunately, I was told that some people in Netherlands or where they have stolen the quota system.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quota system can be part of the performance management systems of our country in terms of pecking order, in terms of how management works, who does what and where. Yeah. So I strongly believe, in fact, instead of looking at the Constitutional Court right now, you should be looking at our customary, jurisdiction, the customary courts and everything. How do we enhance our customary laws or our customs and our traditions, package them such that we are able to sell them to the world, so that they can form part of our performance management systems, so that they can form part of our efficiencies and effectiveness in running government, where people respect other people's property, and they know that together we can attain more. They know that we can do this. Those are some of the things which are not borrowed from elsewhere. They are very, very Botswana. That's who we are.
Definitely.
So at the end of the day, I strongly believe that the Constitutional Court, because it just takes us further into neo-colonization of some sort, we rather look at who we are.
Look inwards, not outwards.
Yes, you should look inwards and see what used to. Let me give a last example on this one. If you go to Molepolole, where you come from, where everybody comes from, the main kotlas have this difalana, those, the silos.
Yes, the silos.
Smalls. So, what do you call it? Yeah, those ones. So, what used to happen is that the Khosinedis or they are able bodied. No, the harvest is distributed equitably to everybody, even those who are unable to do that because of age, because of any other condition. The reserve for difficult times. Right now, if you go to this the hotel, look at those funnels. Say the storeroom. Yeah. Say the winky. But you can ask yourself, but right now we are always struggling, how do we equitably distribute that which, as Botswana, we benefit? But our horses knew about that a long time ago. I'm not saying what I'm saying, our modern ways of doing things should be anchored on the ancient and indigenous, concepts that helped us to grow as Botswana. That's why before we established diamonds, where were we? Yeah. We're an economy that was thriving on agriculture. And everybody in nowadays you won't find that.
It's almost impossible. Yes,
but now this dependency, and as the diamond industry, that's another topic.
Yes, no, that one we're going to talk about later. I just want to ask you also, still talking about internal party reform, what difficult conversations does the BDP have to have about itself, about its time in government for there to be a change? Are you having the difficult conversations? And if you can let us know, what are those ones that you've been able to
the biggest problem is that we lost elections. The biggest problem of BDP has always been factions.
Yeah, factions.
Factions are not very good for any political party. But they are always there because people differ in terms of who should lead them at that particular time and why.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's even very difficult. As you know that we had two splinter parties. We had the BMD, we had the BPF, and for the first time at some point, our former president of the party was not part of us when we went for elections. For instance, if you take the 30.4%, and we take the 8-point-something%, and we take the 2.43% of the Koloti as an independent, and you take the BPF, you're at about 40.5 or so.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to calculate it here in my head.
Yeah.
So all the people who are related to BDP and part of BDP, as we are going for these elections, the Good Hope, Mabule constituency, Good Hope Matete. Good Hope Matete, I get it, that's how they call it. That's how we call it now. we lost it because of what happened, internal challenges.
Yes, sir.
And there we lost about 2.4 or so percent. And then BPF, which was a party that in 2014 was part of the BDP.
Yes, sir.
Now we lost again. BMD, I don't think is there anymore.
Yeah.
So we lost about a few, almost 10 point something percent. But the current government won election with 37%. Technically, it wasn't. If it wasn't for this differences, where certain things did not go right, or other people decided to leave the party because of differences within the party, the BDP will be still a very formidable force.
Yeah.
You remember also in 2014, when you went for elections, when BMD was contesting as the first child of the BDP that time, we attained 47% popular vote.
Yeah.
It was very clear that then something happened. And then 2019, we somehow regrouped, 52%. And then 2024, 30.4% or so.
Yeah.
So you can see our internal differences, factions, are the ones that actually are hindering the party. And I must admit that it's something that is always very difficult to deal with, because we are brought up and we see things differently.
Yes, sir.
It's always very difficult to convince people to have one. But my intention is I'll do everything that I can to be able to open up and try by all means not to create an opportunity for factions.
Yeah.
And how do you do it? There's a simple thing that we all have to adhere to: the Constitution, the rule of law. I mean, a lot of times when I, as a president, I'm going to do what I wish or what I want as a leader. That's what will create factions, because there's nothing that anchors my thinking. Yeah. But if I'm going to follow the Constitution, some people might not like it when I follow the Constitution. Yeah. But at least it's something that everybody, when they come to their senses, they can say, but there's a guiding principle here. There's the principles and values of the BDP that guided this leader. He did not just do it out of his own volition.
Yes, sir.
He did it because it's the law. He couldn't do it. But at times, leaders get carried away by the fact that they've got certain powers in here. And for that to end, part of what I've said when I was campaigning before we went to Mau was to review the Constitution. Yeah. The Constitution of the BDP gives immense powers to the president. Yeah. And it depends on how it's used. Yeah. Some people will use it, but I have the appetite. And already we have started that process of reviewing the Constitution. It's almost at the tail end. I think some beginning of October or so, we'll have our Constitutional Congress, where you are going to now deliberate on it as Democrats and then adopt a new ways. But hopefully, certain powers which they can be used recklessly. They say too much power corrupts.
Absolute power.
Corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
So at times, as a leader, you have to accept that there are certain things that you have to have valves. Yeah. There are certain people who have to stop you in your trails to say, you can't go beyond this thing. So I'm willing as a leader to see that happening. The other thing that I want to see is the participation of women. Yeah. I'm currently, I'm one of those who advocate for an opportunity for women without necessarily wanting them to battle in the same battlefield as men all the time. Yeah. Not that they should be given the opportunity because they are women. There's a disadvantage, historic disadvantage, yes, that we have to all acknowledge. That's why even the global organizations are always talking about whether it's the MDGs, where there are charters all over. Yeah. There's always this thing of how do we help women to come in, yes, into politics, for instance, or into positions of leadership. Yeah. You have seen in the recent years, in terms of appointments, be it chief executive officers, senior officials in government and in private sector, that women have been gaining more and more traction. Yes, sir. But politically, there's still a challenge. So there has to be a thing. And if you ask me, which is a personal view, lest I'm accused that I want by men that I don't want them, no. I think there should be a quota within the party in terms of constituencies that is given to women for them to contest in the primary elections as women. Yeah. And also such that we can present a woman, even if government doesn't have an appetite to change the constitution to allow certain constituencies to be for women.
For women,
Maybe
yes,
in the BDP, we deliberately usher certain number of constituencies for us to be represented in the general elections by women. This will actually attract, because women generally are very strong. You remember Bill Clinton's security used to be predominantly women, those tall, big women. And I strongly believe that if men were to conceive and carry children for 9 months, we will die.
We don't have the strength.
I don't think we have the capacity to do that. So women, and again, I always pray that, even myself, I pray that, you know, in the fullness of time, whenever God will decide that I've done enough in this world, I always pray that He takes me first from my family, not my wife. Because I've seen what has been happening a lot of times. I always pray that I want my wife to remain with my children and my girl children, because men are men. At times, you've seen it, the experience. You know, when you leave them with my wife remains. Even if she gets married for whatever reason, something that I don't wish happens. If it does happen that she gets married, she'll go with her children. You know, she will go with her children. But as men,
hey,
no,
that's understood.
I could heal something. I don't know what they. So women are in the BDP. I see women as an opportunity for us to stabilize and grow. Hence, I'm giving these examples to say they are the ones who are going to be able, even when there is a lot of turmoil, they are able to say, Tseri, or let's just, you know.
They're nurturing, they're builders.
They're nurturing, Sir. So we need to work alongside them.
Yes, sir. Speaking about the Constitution, there's been a significant discussion recently about the revocation of Res Samson Guma-Moyo's BDP membership.
Yes.
Why was his membership revoked?
Okay, let me put it that way. You know, before I get to the revocation of the membership, it was not membership, basically. Let me put it this way. Let me correct it.
Yes, sir.
It was not the revocation of his membership. It's the revocation of the letter that purported that he's a member.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
The revocation of a letter, not membership. There is Article 6 to 13 of the Constitution of the BDP deals with issues of membership.
Yes, sir.
Who becomes a member, who doesn't become a member. And even the Constitution states that you can imply, without necessarily, when you imply is that you don't have to write that I'm a member, but you start attending and pay and request for membership card. But the moment, without writing to anybody and say, I want you to be a member or something, the Constitution stipulates that you can just, go and apply for membership. And then once the membership is granted, you pay your membership fee, and then you pay your annual subscriptions. If you look at Article 10, I think it's 10.6 or so, speaks about issues of a member in good standing. Who is a member in good standing? He's a person who has joined the party, person who is paying annual subscriptions, and a person who agrees and adheres and upholds the rule of law in as far as the party is concerned. The person who is aligned to the policies and programs of the party, the person who actually does not belong to different parties or doesn't, you understand? The person who doesn't belong to any other party that is against the BDP in whichever form you look at it. So that's what I can go on and explain.
Yes, sir.
But also, it stipulates that in some instance that if you leave the party to join another party, when you come back, you have to apply to the Central Committee. And once you have applied to the Central Committee, they can either admit you or not admit you. But then you also have to ask the Central Committee for a variation of the 2 years, which the Constitution demands that if you have done that, you should not be active. Just be there, a silent member, until they believe that now you have cleansed yourself and reconnected yourself with the values and the principles of BDP, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
So those are some of the issues. Now, when I was in Mau, after being elected the president by Democrats, I knew that part of why we lost is that people felt that there was injustices here and there which they did not believe were supposed to have happened. Others were saying our primary elections happened very late, so we never had an opportunity to say sorry or to maybe realign those that would have not achieved what they wanted to achieve.
Yes, sir.
Hence, they became very thin. So I said, those who have been wronged by the party, as a blanket announcement.
Yes, sir.
Those who have been wronged by the party will forgive. Actually, we apologize to you.
Yeah.
And we'll reach out. And you should know that if you have not done anything wrong to the party and the party has wronged you, consider yourself as somebody that the party it opens its hands to accept you back into the party.
Yes, sir.
But you know how to do it. You'll be waiting for you to indicate how you want to come in and how you don't want to come in.
Yeah.
Okay? But there were those who were clearly, this is politics, eh? Politics is a game of numbers. There are those who are wronged, and you know that if you do not write to them and correct that which has happened, there will be perceptions out there in their constituencies. Yeah. There will be perceptions by those who want to join the BDP. There will be perceptions by those who are just onlookers and looking at the BDP and ask themselves, are they not saying they're a democratic party? If they cannot practice the ideals of democracy, how do we trust them? Yeah. Even with power, leading the country, where somebody can win elections, and then you tell them you haven't won election, it's somebody else who has won elections. Yeah. When you understand? Yeah, so people will be looking at us and say, can we trust these people?
Yes.
We need to cleanse ourselves this kind of stigma. Yeah. We need to remove and get away from this thing for people to see us as a party that is serious about wanting to uphold the rule of law, wanting to adhere by the Constitution, wanting to adhere by the rules and regulations of that which we have set ourselves, like our primary elections.
Yes, sir.
So Koloti, for instance, we wrote to him. You wrote a letter to him. He knew very well that he's a minister in the current UDC. But you wrote a letter to him. You have never seen it in the media.
No.
But you wrote it to him, and he has it. Because the onus was not necessarily in him to say, apologize to me. No. We had to because we wronged him. Yeah. He was a democratic, a member of the BDP in good standing. But it's us who then led him to become what? An independent candidate. And he won. Yeah. 19,000, almost 20,000 votes away from the BDP. So we felt we need to communicate to him and by extension communicate to the voters to say we regret why this kind of thing happened.
Yes, sir.
Whether he comes back to the party or not, the onus is in who?
It's
in
on
him. It's on him to say, hey, my man, we have apologized, and we live with a clear conscience.
Yes,
Two, there is Ramaele who was suspended indefinitely. Yeah. We wrote to him. He's a minister also.
What does indefinitely mean?
No, the Constitution allows the president to suspend you for 60 days. Within 60 days, you should be given a fair hearing. Yeah. If you are not given a fair hearing within 60 days and you want to extend it, we can extend it. But if it's indefinite, then it's unfair. So we wrote the same to him. There was Remo Kokoman who was suspended also. We lifted that suspension because it never occurred that he was given a hearing. And then there was President Khama. When I was in Serowe to apologize, and they call me, nowadays on social media, they call me Mr. Apology. It's fine. you understand?
Yes,
I apologize all the time because that's who we are in Botswana. I cannot say, no, I didn't do it, so hey. Yeah. No, I apologize to everyone, even to Botswana. Every time, even here before I finish this, I'm going to apologize.
Yes, sir.
So it's very important to understand. We went there to apologize because leadership is about identifying a section of the society that is unhappy and seeing and understanding why they are not happy. I went there because, the Khotla was closed. Khotla, I grew up in Muzenda. Mahokwa Khotla mantlo tla ke re sona serial. Me a mangware muale be o bua la gago gore mona le ntatswa la gago. Now, when somebody closes the Khotla for a tribe, such as the Baham Mawat, o la khotla gore ba bua politiki go go yone. Go ra gore wena no tsantse ro tswelele ntle wana no le go kae. At that time, ha ba bua politiki go ra ne le muale be a bua la gago. Ya no o bua le ntle ne na le kae. You don't have to close. You have to voice your alternative voice.
Yes, sir.
That's how the Khotla is the only place that can equalize the community or the society.
Yes, sir.
So it was closed, and apparently the elders were beaten whenever they tried to go to their Khotla to gather. I had to go and apologize. Yeah. There was 100 billion. The chief had gone to South Africa for some time, 3 years, lost a sister, never buried her. It was just turmoil. Yes, and in the meantime, as the BDP, we lost 17 constituencies within that enclave. Yeah. So we had to go and apologize. Yeah. So when we apologized, the Kgosi Kgolo Hama to Kgosi Kgolo Hama produced the letter and say, hey, I was fired. Go and fire the former president because then he made you lose elections. So I took the letter and I went back to him and I said to him, hey, we discussed, and I said, no, I don't know. We will follow procedure in whatever that we do, but I don't think right now it's justifiable that I fire the former president. Rather, I will apologize to you, sir, because indeed you are fired without having been given a fair hearing. Yeah. So we apologized and we said, because he's a Kgosi Kgolo, we then left the whole thing open to him to say, our doors are open to you in the event that you want to become a member in good standing again. Our doors are open, you know. Yes, that's where we left, because he never, relinquished her membership card. He never gave us back the membership card, which was demanded by the letter. And I said, where is the membership card? Because we are supposed to have brought it back. He said, no, I still have it. I did. So I said, okay, fine. So the letter, he hadn't had it. But obviously, as to whether how he's going to deal with the membership and all that, but he never told me that. After I did that, he never said, I'm not a member of the BDP. Yeah. So I'm just hopeful. So at the end of the day, Guma-Moyo left the party. You remember he left the party not once. Yeah. He came back, he left it again. And then in both occasions, he was contesting for the executive of those political parties. Yeah. And then he was out there telling everybody that he's waiting for his membership of the UDC. He has applied to the UDC. Yes, I remember. Which is forum shopping. You cannot do forum shopping also in politics. That's why you cannot do it legally, where you want every party to accept you. Yeah. And then in the process, there was a mistake where the letter was written to him stipulating that he has never left the party. Yeah. Which was structurally, factually, and constitutionally very wrong. Yeah. So I had to rescind that letter because you don't want to set a precedence where Sky has left the party and gone to all the parties you can think of. Yeah. And then we say he has never been to any other party. That's wrong. However, the letter, as per the articles that we have stated in the letter, the articles of the Constitution, gives him an opportunity to apply. As you know, you should do it. You never said we are rescinding and you don't want you as a member, whatever. No. We said we are rescinding this letter because it is unconstitutional. And the president didn't have the power to say you haven't been out of the party when you have, and other things. You know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, it went viral. But the part of it is also that you can see maybe it was part of forum shopping. And remember, after he received the letter, I didn't know myself because at times I miss articles in the papers. Yes, sir. He did mention that he received a note from Balopi, but he doesn't know what to do with it because he's waiting for his membership from the UDC. So I'm still saying we cannot chase away from anyone from the party. Yeah. We cannot block anyone away from joining the party. But we had to adhere to the Constitution. When a mistake has happened, you have to be able to say, we are sorry. I even wrote to him that I'm sorry that this thing has come to you in a manner that, Yes, so I'll always apologize until everybody is happy that whatever they have been, they've gone through, the party has acknowledged that apology. Yes.
I just wanted to ask about those who think that because Samson Guma might be ambitious about being a president in the Botswana Democratic Party, maybe that was the reasoning behind
rescinding the letter.
Yes, sir.
No. You see, it will be very unfortunate. let's assume everybody wants to be anybody, anyone, even you can join the party and later on you want to be a president. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm
for
not the
people
first.
who
I'm not
ambitious.
the first president. I'm not the last, and I'm open for contestation myself. Even next year I'll contest. I'm open for it. I'm not going to be scared of anybody because I contested with 4 other people. Remember? The one who was the former vice president and the chairman of the party. And I contested against them, and I got about 90% of the college.
That's a lot.
So it's about you, how you people see you. And remember, I've been Secretary General for a long time, and I can tell you I did very well. I mean, I don't know how many people have told me that, but I have to tell myself also that I did well. So you know, as a Secretary General, given the circumstances and serving and respecting both leaders that I served. You've never seen me dragging the name of the party in the mud or everything else. So it's not a question of, but it will be unfortunate if Reguma can be accepted irregularly. His acceptance in the party is not constitutional, and he wants to contest for presidency. Okay? Because he's given the impression that he's a member, but it was not regularized properly. And somebody lifts their hand at the Congress and say, hey, Reguma, you cannot stand as president. Because this letter that you have received that accepted you back as a member is not constitutional. It did not state the facts. So it will be
unconstitutional, like
unconstitutional,
you say.
And it is to his disadvantage if he does not regularize it properly. Somebody might not somebody might just raise it, not me. So it's proper all the time to constitutionalize and contextualize issues. So I'm very sorry for those who think it was revocation of a membership. No, it's a letter that was rescinded and guiding him within that letter as to how he should proceed.
Okay, I have my own understanding about it, but I still have to ask the question.
No, please.
Yes, sir.
Anything.
No, yes.
What
is the difference between what happened with Rekama and what happened with Reguma, in that he ultimately got an apology and, the writing of the letter, for those who are on social media talking about it, are no different from each other?
No, they are very different.
They're very different from each other.
Extremely different.
So
you want me to read them for you? Because I think I have them.
No, we can give examples of them. So they're
totally different. Because
there's
remember,
some talk about that, the letters are no different from each other. Why is one being
very totally different?
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, I cannot put out the contents of the letter for all the people that have written out there in the media. It was personalized to them. Unfortunately, Guma-Moyo's letter is now in the public domain. I don't know whether people have juxtaposed it with, or maybe compared and contrasted it with those that they are saying the letters are the same. But they're totally the same. They're actually different.
Very, very different.
Very different.
Okay.
Remember, the other one was fired from the party.
Yes, sir.
And the other one fired himself, left. So I cannot apologize to you for having left. But I can apologize to you for having been fired without a fair hearing. And happened in the BDP, there's no provision anywhere in the Constitution that as the president of the party, I can fire anyone without due process. There's absolutely no one. So the letters are totally different. Each and every letter, by the way, it's unique. The Kolotis, Maeles, Mr. Mbaka Atman, Mokokomani's letter, and who else? We wrote 5 letters. They are all different. They are unique because they were stipulating exactly what has happened. But for me, it's a non-issue because along the way, people will get to see and know the truth and see for what it is. And for that one, I want to apologize for receiving the letter. But I apologize for those who do not get the context quite well, that I couldn't publicize both letters. Maybe if I did, in anticipation of this challenge, I would have done it and asked for permission from those who I was writing to.
Yes, sir. Have you had a conversation with former President Masisi?
Yes, at different levels. Whenever we meet, one-on-one, not necessarily as people would expect me to visit, but I have requested, and I'm still hopeful, that will give me an opportunity for a courtesy call. Through her private secretary, I have requested a meeting.
How is your relationship with former President Masisi?
I take it that it's okay. I take it that it's okay because my view is that it's an okay relationship because I take it that he's a retired or former president that I respected and served very diligently And as well, he's still a member of the BDP in good standing. In that regard, I think he's okay. You know, some people, how is your relationship with me?
Well, it's cordial.
When was the last time you talked to me?
It's a long time ago.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But you know what?
But our relationship is good.
But you know what I'm getting also while we're having this conversation is that your predecessor might have ruffled up a whole lot, because you are apologizing a lot. You know, no one walks into a position and just starts apologizing. So would you admit that you felt that a lot of what was going on prior to you coming in was, you know, the party was in shambles and he should be directly, you know, pointed at as the person who caused it?
I don't think we would have been in any better position or worse position than losing an election. I don't think there's ever been a time that we were in this worst position. But, you know, it's a lot of things. At times alone, when I think about maybe what happened, let's talk about late primary elections. You know, there's this team lists. You understand?
Yes, sir.
At the World Cup right now, people will never get to know who's going to play at the end, isn't it?
No.
And nobody gets to understand the strategy of the coaches. At times, you expect Messi to be playing on the left. You know, one of the best teams right now that I'm watching is Spain, because almost each and every player plays a different position. I don't know whether you observe that.
Yes, sir.
As they are playing, they keep on just shifting. It's a game plan that is very dangerous, even when they are not performing very well. Ultimately, they find a way.
The replacements make effect.
They just, you understand?
Yes, sir.
So at some point, one would say maybe I'm saying maybe. I'm not saying that's how it is. the late showcasing of the candidates was for the other players not to know who's going to play. And they prepare for them adequately. But at the same time, those who were contesting with the ones who were going to be put up there, expecting themselves to be there, never had enough chance to say, why didn't I? Because they never had a chance to appeal, because it was too slow. So it backfired. Maybe it's a strategy that was well crafted and well thought of, but it backfired. That's why I'm using the example of showcasing your players ahead of time.
Yes, sir.
People might plan for you. If they know Mpho is going to play, they know I'm left-handed. So how many guys can I bring here and whatever?
Yes,
I'm just saying. I'm just giving this thing. But obviously, a lot has happened. I can tell you that a lot of people that I meet all the time, they say they voted for the opposition as members of the party. Very sad. You know, if you had to discipline those, as they say it, we'll then have no party. So we have accepted that it's a way of, people maybe healing, and I'll respect and say this was a management style, this was the style of a coach, the style of a leader who thought maybe this could work, but it backfired. And I think you should dwell on it for forever. What we should do is to say what was tried and tested maybe worked better. Let's find a way of having early primary elections for all the opposition held. By the way, 57 constituencies. And 4 is always bad for us. You remember, I'm the one who passed this. We came out with this thing in Parliament.
Don't cross.
Four extra constituencies.
You ended up with those.
Now we ended up with 4, and I can tell you, and get this from me, and record it properly. Every time there's a 4 next to any BDP performs so badly. Every time, you know.
Yes, sir.
In 94, that's when we had the largest number of BNF in Parliament. If you remember.
I remember that time,
And then instead of preparing, they fought, and then 98 BCP was formed. Okay? 2004, again, that's when we always come back with the 9s and all that. And then 2014, that was the first time that we had a percentage below 50% of the popular vote. 2014. And then 2024, we lost. So watch 2029.
No, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm not superstitious and whatever, but I'm always observing this 4. And this 4, we have 4 in Parliament. Come on. You see, there's something.
There's something with the 4s.
Yes.
I guess in closing with that part, before we get into the UDC.
Yes.
Because I don't want to have you here for long.
Yes.
It was a low-hanging fruit. I mean, it could have gotten you probably more popular. Why didn't you fire the former president if, a lot of people were not feeling?
No. If, I don't know, be it your partner, be it your child, be it your parent, there's always an opportunity for one of you to make a mistake or to misjudge and whatever. And there's always a reason why you should do something. If there's no reason why you should fire others are saying, yes. Some people have been saying that, hey, you guys have... But you know what? Look, we always, as a leader, your wish is for people to see that they have committed maybe mistakes in the past and for them to apologize to those that they may have wronged. Yeah. Or there are people who can insist that, you know what, I did it my way and this was my best and all that. So it's not entirely up to any leader to take the burden of another leader and make it theirs. Yeah, you understand? Rather, you have to try and move forward and build and pick up the pieces and move forward. Because you see, there used to be this Papa Blondie, you know them from South Africa. Blondie McKenny. Blondie McKenny, yeah. He had a brother called Papa. They used to play together. They used to have this song called Reverse a Jive. You remember Reverse a Jive?
Yes,
they were dancing going backwards. So I think it's a problem. I think it's a problem for us to play Reverse a Jive. You know, we should move forward and see how we can do for the party and build a very strong institution. Yeah. You see, let me tell you, the strongest parties in the world have created strongest economies. So the stronger the party, the stronger the economy. I can argue with you anywhere, including CPC of China. They have created a huge... China is only 105 years independent. Shy of less than... they are almost 40-something years shy of us. But look at them. But when they attained their independence, they were poorer than Botswana when we attained our independence. Yeah. Because they built a very strong institution and they adhered to their cultural values. They never borrowed anything. Even social media, it doesn't work.
They have their own.
They have their own, which is controlled and monitored. Yeah. You can call that backward, you can call that whatever. They are the most powerful nation that is growing faster than any other nation, the second largest economy in the world. 105 years. They were turning 105 years. Yes, sir. Just recently. Yeah. So it's because of that. So BDP, I want BDP to be synonymous with Colgate. When you say toothpaste, you say Colgate. When you say powdered soap, we say Surf. So BDP ultimately has to be a strong institution that people can be able to say, hey, BDP, I won't be able to but UDC. BDP, it's not a political party, it's a very, is BDP.
Yes, sir. Yes. The Umbrella for Democratic Change came into power promising a major change. After the first 20 months now in office, how do you assess that performance?
You know what? I think the current government, let me start off with utmost respect. I told you I'm a Christian. Eh?
Yes, sir.
Utmost respect to say we have to respect our leaders. I respect the fact that we have new leadership as a country. But I also am mindful of the fact that the current government overpromised. Yeah. Overpromised, and they are under-delivering in a big way. It's quite unfortunate that one would have assumed that because the leaders, they've been in parliament before, or even if they were not in parliament before, they understand how our system of budgeting, our system of running our fiscals and everything operates. And it should be part of their problem to understand what Botswana has where and how the money is being used at all material times, because they are an alternative government. And they've always been, because that's why they're in government now, because they contested for elections. Yes, sir. Anybody who contests for elections should know what is in store for them before they even say, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. So that's what I'm saying. They overpromised and underdelivered. Let's touch the issues of, generally, you're talking about cost of living. In my entire life, I never thought the state of the economy would be the way that is. I know BDP is responsible for the good, the bad, I think the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, BDP is the only party that developed this country. Everything that we see currently, up to now, is BDP's. All the good, which actually outnumber the bad and the ugly, is the BDP. Yeah. They started this country from nothing, as you always say it. And they have used the diamond to do everything, because that was the main source of income. You might have delayed in terms of diversifying and doing other things, but the diversity that you see within our country in terms of people being educated, different disciplines and different everything, is part of the journey that one would assume people can notice and say, okay, our children, our people are a bit diverse in the way that we are global citizens now. We can be able to work elsewhere because we are diverse. Yes, sir. We are not just as the way we were right at the beginning. Yep. But it could have been better in other aspects. But they came in. I mean, the development plan that they're implementing or any other projects which are there, they have not started them. If they are ongoing ones, they are from the BDP era. But what they said, they started talking money. You see, they always say when you have a partner, and every time they don't talk anything but money, it's dangerous. Because money is a consequence of either hard work, of understanding the source of it, and how you came about to talk about money. So the cost of living is very high, extremely high, because the promises were made and not how you are going to change and diversify the economy before you do anything. If I was UDC, I would have campaigned differently. Yeah. I would have said, BDP maybe here and there is making mistakes and all that. Give me a chance to come in. The first year, just give me time to check what is going on properly. Yeah. Let me check the alliances, everything else. The second year, let me see how much we have after the first year. And then the third year, I'll see whether we can share something out of what is there in the pocket. But they promised ahead of getting to the bottom line.
So you feel they weren't ready? They were just making...
They just wanted their usual thing, and you gave it to them. You gave it to them. You gave it to them. And when they got there, they said, but you need to do something. What do they do? BDP, let me give an example with old pension, old age pension. Yeah. Yes. BDP was giving... It started from your 100 pula. It started, from nothing. But at the time when UDC took over, it was about 870 pula. Yeah. And this 870 pula could buy you more groceries than the 1.4 is buying right now.
Oh, my word.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But with the 870 pula, you are not requested to go and buy medication for yourself, especially the basic medication of hypertension or high bloods or whatever. No, never. Yeah. You could, maybe in hospitals, there are certain million. I was told by a certain lady this weekend that, there was an issue of there's a medication that they take. I think you have to take 3 tablets all at the same time, all the time. Yeah, that's a complete medication type of thing,
like a cocktail.
Like a cocktail. Yeah. So right now, the other one is never there. So if you take 2, it becomes dangerous. And they were saying people die because of this and all that, And somebody was telling me, I'm here to find if it's true that in some village next to Gaborone, near Gaborone, 15 funerals occurred this past weekend. And all that. And people are always saying it's because when they get to the hospital, there's no medication. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the state of the economy in terms of the cost of living. So people now have to buy medication. This is a total failure from the government of the UDC in terms of taking care of the basic needs, health, your right, the right to live, by being given medication. And I'll never say, that's what I was saying, you are responsible in some instance for the good, the bad, and the ugly. But when it comes to medication, it has never occurred that people could go for this long without getting, medication. Especially the essential medication that can affect your health or life within a short space of time. You know how we reacted to the first pandemic that we ever encountered, COVID. Yeah. Or you even have to restrict movement during Ramasi's time.
Yes, sir.
We responded without knowing what we were getting into, but BDP responded very well.
Yes, sir.
Rao Ramohai responded to HIV and AIDS when even bigger economies could not respond the way he responded. And he saved the nation. Right now, it's difficult to point at anyone and say, hey, before it was stigmatized, you could see people walking, you could see they are not well, but nowadays it's very, 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 very rare and difficult to see that. We've had FMD in the past, you know, and we have been renowned. We had BVI that produced Milemabo, foot and mouth. The world knew that BDP, when it comes to HIV and AIDS and foot and mouth, disease, they eradicate it like nobody's business.
Yes, sir.
We could have actually exported that expertise. Right now, it's different. We are where we are differently, and the economy, the rural economy, is dependent on farming. Be it cattle, small stock, you know, everybody. You know, I don't know, the people who have gotten married without meat, I don't know why they'll ever forgive.
What are you pissing on? I want to lay in where you go BMC and when
this is the numbers of BMC. Yeah. BMC I get Mokoto, I get.
Mokoto, it's another story.
You know what I'm saying? So now we didn't leave. If I was to get married without Mokoto,
but do you think there's anything in the positive side?
Yes.
Anything?
No, let me go there and say to you that, you know, I was still talking about the challenges.
The economy.
The prices of electricity have gone up. Water has gone up. You know that transportation has gone up. Everything. But the bottom line, the food basket of 2 years ago and the food basket of now, given the cost, chalk and cheese. As I'm talking about 870 and 1.4. Also, we have the issue of tax. You know, BDP were always struggling with how to reduce taxable commodities or zero-rated commodities, so to speak. I remember there was a time when I was a minister when, then I think it was Minister Serowe, I've forgotten, we were thinking of how to increase those zero-rated products and maybe looking at the basics, you know, not only cooking, you know, even little cooking oil, and you know, all the staple foods, at least the basics. There was always that conversation of saying, this 12%, you remember there was even a time that people were given tax holiday. For some time you say, okay, we are not going to be charged this 14% for this product and all that. So the government of the BDP was always looking at how to reduce costs for the consumers, for Botswana in general. It was very people-centric. You might have made mistakes, as I said earlier. But right now we had the commissioner pronouncements in the past week or so. The government is now saying, Ghana, we should test tax almost in everything. But we are trying to zero rate in certain aspects, but we want to increase the tax base. And they have envisaged that by the end of the financial year, they would have increased the tax collection by 2.4-something billion. So this 2-something billion, it means it's taken from consumers. You understand? But as we are always trying to find a way of having tax through SACU, through collection of taxes here by the BRS to grow the economy, to push the economy, but also balancing the effects that would have on the wallet. On the wallet, you understand? So here we see it as a problem, and I think at times it's the timing. You know, when things are so horrible, and then you come in with taxes. I mean, the middle class, who are the engine of the economy. Certain brackets now, their taxes they've been increased.
I wanted to ask about the tax. Isn't that like the only way to react because our biggest commodity is not selling? Because then I'm seeing it. I mean, even the car wash right now, I think there was a memo that was put out for, I don't know, which one
or something, 200 pula, or even Lechaborone and everywhere else.
Set up a business.
Something else. Yes.
So
remember what we said, Rona, is the BDP, contrary to this policy. The BDP was promoting backyard businesses like here. For here, in your yard, you are staying here, do this as a source of income. You know, BDP was saying that.
Yes, sir.
We are saying our plowing fields, we should get 50% and do something else, and then the other 50%, we are building on that. We are talking about regularization of the kiosks, not chasing away people. Just go there and get a vendor's license. We are talking about all the car wash. Go there and enterprise. Because when you enterprise a lot, Remember, you are collecting money from a business like a car wash.
Yeah, for service.
But people will say, now I would rather leave because I can't afford to have a car wash now or whatnot.
Yeah.
But if you allow them to be many and regulated, it means there's going to be more employment. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And more employment, all these people who are employed are buying commodities, are buying consumables. They are paying tax still. They might not be paying it directly from a car wash, but everybody else eats, they consume. You are still going to collect your tax one or the other. But if everybody still stays away and say, no, I'm not going to operate a business because it's expensive, it means there's no employment, then less consumption.
Yeah.
Instead of having 3 meals, we have 1.
Yeah.
It means you buy less instead of buying more. And then later on, Choppies retrenches, so-and-so retrenches because there are no consumers. The tax base, it's a chain reaction that has to be carefully balanced. I'm not talking, I'm not saying economists who are thinking about that right now are not thinking, but I'm just being basic to say these things. Just look at it from that point of view. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when you do that, you are reducing that aspect. But there's another opportunity. For instance, the opportunity is there's money in this government that is not being collected. There's opportunity for collecting more money that is not talked about. Personally, I've been trying to get a license for something. It's been 18 months just trying to get a license. And license means what? Paying.
Yeah.
And after paying, and I get that license, it means what? Operating a business. And that operating a business means what? Employment. And employment means what? And operating a business, tax is collected.
Yeah.
So there are many businesses because of our inefficiencies which are not operating. So we need to increase the pace, the efficiencies of giving people services such that they become vibrant and work and produce and generate money and employ people. We need to be productive. We should look at productivity as a contributor to the GDP a lot more seriously. What kind of productivity? Right now, each and every yard here is got a service with 5 meters outside the yard. If you go to Europe and you go to developed countries, have you ever seen a place where you have 5 meters or 2.5 meters from the wall next to your house, then you have 5 meters outside your yard? You have never, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if they have built in such a way that they are productive in the way that we are allocating land, and then each and every enclave, like this area in Facebook, it has an open space. That open space, you allow people to do events there. You allow people to do small businesses there. Every weekend, there are many people there enterprising, sort of an open market.
Yes, sir.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Then we'll see that that's what is happening in many other countries. But instead of leaving spaces in front of yards and inside the yard and being very strict with those, and then you don't have open spaces where people can go and set kiosks from time to time and generate business. So those are some of the issues that we're talking about. Efficiencies. If you say the system is down for a month and you're not issuing licenses, how many people want licenses? How much money can you collect from that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You should now come up with the productivity blueprint that speaks to issues of efficiency as an alternative to revenue generation, because the diamond industry is done in the next few years, if you can see what is happening globally.
Yes, sir.
So I strongly believe that those are some of the challenges. But I must give it to UDC that first let me, and when I'm talking about these efficiencies, the other time you're talking about corruption and other things and whatever, and if there are no efficiencies, let me tell you, if I know that it takes 10 months or 12 months to get a license and I want to leave, I'll pay somebody to do it quicker.
Yeah.
But if it takes a week or at least a month, who do I pay for what?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like just police charges. If you increase the rates for seatbelt and you say if you don't have a seatbelt it's 1,000, there's going to be corrupt cops because they're going to get two clip. But if you say it's 50 pula, really, why do you have to bribe somebody for 50 pula? You just give him that. So you need to balance some of these things, and this is what the BDP is saying. You know what? The new BDP, by the way. The reformed BDP say, yes, we see our mistakes. We see what you've done in the past. But here are the opportunities. Here are some things that we can do. So that's what it is. But I never expected Rwanda, after a genocide of 1994, is moving places. Seychelles, moving places. What's the other place? The Mo Ibrahim Index was applauding some of the issues, some of the countries. Even in North Africa, imagine.
Yeah.
They are on an upward trajectory. In Southern Africa, you understand, and Botswana. So it's a problem that we need to quickly, and that's why I'm talking about the indigenous knowledge systems, the custom, the way of doing things, how the basic things. Go back to charity begins at home. How did we manage to do this? How did our parents build houses without taking loans? Because there were no banks during the time, but there were houses all over. How did
big houses,
big houses, everything? How did they manage to get involved in agriculture in a big way when there were no funds? NDB was not there and other banks in the past, but they managed to do that. Let's go back and say, let's go back to our efficiencies as a nation and say, where have we lost it? What can we build? As you embrace other modern things, but ours should be the basis of how we want to develop. Awesome. You asked me about the UDC, what they have achieved. One,
any positives?
I think the positives are there. Look, the biggest positives is that I've seen that they want to adhere to nations' coherence or unity or respect by burying Ramohai, giving him a very befitting burial.
Yes, sir.
Something that is applaudable. We've seen them, giving a very befitting burial to Reheshfeld, the former commissioner. Very, some of the things that, unfortunately, we've had state funerals in the past also, but also it's the same as saying, why didn't your father wear sneakers? It's a Nike, because those days they were not there, but right now they are there. You should wear them. But having said that, it's applaudable that they have done. They could have thought about it differently. But I did even say during Ramohai's funeral that Red Boko, what he has done through his government, it's applaudable. Yes, I want to applaud them also for forensic audit. It's very important that when this notion of or this thing of corruption is talked about day in and day out, that people are corrupt, the country is corrupt, people are doing this, somebody has to take a position and say, hey, I'm going to have a forensic audit. You understand? Yeah. But the unfortunate part about this forensic audit is that they've done it and it's applaudable. Maybe let me stop there and breathe. But the unfortunate thing is that, people were always accused, they are in forensic audit, including myself. You understand? And others, and many others. They have stolen, they've done. If I can tell you business that I've never dealt with, I don't know how the GP of government looks like in my life. I've never tendered, I don't know how. I have never. Because I don't know. So it's very important to understand that even those who have tendered, it's not like there's anything wrong. It's a preference of business. You might choose to deal with the private sector, to deal with this, but it's a model of your business. But at the end of the day, when there's strong perceptions of corruption, and somebody comes in and say, we want a forensic audit, it's applaudable. Yeah. But it's not good for people to keep on saying, hey, that forensic audit is going to reveal shocking things. Yeah. So-and-so is in it, so-and-so. Now it sort of dilutes the intention. It's like it's politicized. Yeah. Besides that, at the end of the day, now the report is produced, 30th of April. Now the report, we can show you this report. There are certain things, there are people now who are going to be looking at now these are sort of allegations. We now have to investigate them. There are those that are maybe criminal. There are those that are civil. There are those that are maybe structural, to be dealt with in a different manner. And then we wait. Now, all of a sudden is that, hey, it's a problem now. You don't know who is going to investigate this forensic audit because all institutions are involved in those who I guess that's the latest that you got from the president.
That's always what I want to figure out. If it is civil servants who are doing all of this corruption, why can't at least the some sort of activity? Because I think sometimes we look at the ministers, we look at the people who are at the top, but the corruption happens within the civil service, people who are employed in the civil service. So I don't understand why it's so hard for it. Why don't we get these ones who are in the system?
Yeah, let me tell you this. That thing surprises me because it impues certain behaviors within the civil service.
Yeah.
Now it has left Botswana. The Botswana now suspicious of everybody who is working for any institution, but it's not pronounced. So the only problem, the best people to actually put pressure on government is the public. Botswana have to see this thing and know what investigate them. So that report has to go public.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't go public, it will get to another phase again. Where the investigator has been investigated and the investigation shows that the one who instigated the investigation now is the culprit.
Yeah.
You see, it will keep on bringing
a lot
many
of
different things. So now let them, I want it to be taken out. It's a public document. It should be a public document. After all, it's public funds and Botswana money.
Yeah.
That is alleged for high dirisuya sin.
Yeah.
Ke madi a Botswana.
Yeah.
Ke makgetho a rona hard-earned money. A batho botlhe ke ba Botswana. Secondly, ke report e leng gore batho ba ne ba e dira ba forensic ne ba duela ka madi a Botswana. A ke re he who pays the piper calls the tune.
Yeah.
So who calls the tune here? Is the one who pays the piper.
Yes, sir.
So now I'm saying this report
Yeah.
It's also in the public, and then it will settle. But I applaud them for having done that. But I still encourage them. And I say, Mr. President, you should just be bold. Take it out. Anyone who is in there, he will know, he will be, and like you're saying, if there is a CEO, I'm giving you an example, and the CEO is suspended, there's an acting CEO.
Yeah. They're all acting right now.
Yeah. So if there's an acting CEO, I agree he will be able to instigate or maybe start the
process.
The process.
Yeah.
Or there are other institutions. Just like he picked a team of people who then were the Botswana team that was looking after this process of the forensic audit.
Yes, sir.
I strongly believe it is still very important, extremely important for us to close this thing. And the only closure, otherwise you are suspicious. That's really how
it's going right now.
You understand? Others are now saying, up to now. Maybe when
Yeah.
So it defeats the purpose. And the last part that I want to applaud them for is the 100 billion saga. You see, the 100 billion saga, I think for me, the fact that it's been almost established that it was a non-starter, it was never there. By the current government, they finally settled, even though the cases started that time.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I applaud the government for doing. And again, I want to say, having said that, I think it's important as Botswana to start emphasizing to anyone, any politician, that we should never pursue anyone without having evidence.
Yeah.
Because it destroys life. At the end, some people die, and others never recover from their emotional trauma.
Yes, sir.
And all that because of a lie.
Yeah.
Or because of something. And also our country is in trouble because investors will ask themselves, if 100 billion can disappear, so what about me? Who's going to come? That's why others were taking a chance the other time to say, hey, Lord, now we brought money to FA.
But that was $100 billion. That's crazy.
Yeah, you understand? Others were saying the other time, I read in the paper somewhere, whereas others, there was a court case which was a drawn because some company
some of our money was in there.
They said they brought the money through FNB. I don't think I'm the only one who saw that. I was not dreaming. Yeah, it was there. But then you can see, so if you do something, somebody else can come in and say, a few bucks have disappeared. So I think that's another thing. And also what I wanted to close on that issue is the issue of the economy, the economic challenges. I want to say that the idea of the UDC government buying DBS, as far as I'm concerned, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. And it should be abandoned.
Yes, sir.
You know, we used to have dinepes in the film. You remember them?
Yeah.
Where you can go, hey, go Fuji.
Yeah.
Before, and then we had
Look
the
at
film.
these young people.
They don't remember. And then we had that reel that we used to watch movies on a wall like that.
Yes, sir.
You remember?
I remember it very well.
And then later on, no, same time in Akwati. Now we've gone digital. How no poka tlhatswang dinepe. I don't know since what dinepe or business are we like
really DVD deal.
Everything. DVDs are gone. Musica. I used to go to my weekend to go and buy music from Musica.
Yeah.
Now there's nothing. People are downloading digitally. The digital economy is massive.
Yeah.
And all that. So even the diamonds, I think they used to work for us.
Yeah.
They used to work for us, and they've developed this country. It's up to us now to ramp up and start thinking of a future without diamonds.
Yeah.
And if they come, they should come just as an add-on.
Yeah.
And even if they come as an add-on, I don't think they will ever be at the same level as they were before, as this country was developing. And I'm glad that we use the money very well.
Yeah.
Of course, the roads have potholes, but there's a road at least. You're talking about a pothole, but there's a road.
Yeah.
You know, the schools are dilapidated, but there's a school.
Yeah.
The hospitals don't have medication, but there are hospitals and clinics.
Yeah.
That's the BDP built. And the biggest property, intellectual capital, all the brains in Botswana, they are loaded with education, one or the other.
Yes, sir.
Because of the diamonds. You know, people have lived on. No, today I heard that Venetia, a mine that produces 40% of South African diamonds, is being closed. Production has been closed for 2 years.
Oof.
2 years.
Yeah.
And 3,500 jobs are at stake. I don't know whether you are aware that the tailings, Letlakan and Damsa, they've been closed.
Oof.
Yeah, they've been closed. People don't know that, but they are closed. They are not operating. They are not producing. Orapa mine is producing, is mining, but at reduced capacity. The Joannem mine, the tailings section is closed. They're operating the mining, the actual mining, at a lower capacity. The diamonds, what do you call it? The lab-grown diamonds. Currently, the production of those has gone down, especially for jewelry.
Yeah.
It has ramped up for the industrial diamonds, the ones that are used in industry and all that. Because the economic situation globally is such that people are no more interested in buying luxurious goods. So if you think about all that, and the prospecting is happening in Angola.
Yeah, Angola is looking like where everyone is going.
Yeah,
right
the prospecting is happening in Angola. Even Mo Ibrahim is saying the Angolan economy and the rate of corruption is going up. Imagine. And then we have Russia, we have Canada that they're relying on. Even then, there's a problem with the sales of diamonds. That's why Anglo-American all this time has been reducing the value of the BS because of the performance of the BS. So if you buy into it, what are you buying? The only way that you could buy into it is when you have efficiencies on the ground, like I'm talking about productivity, structure, efficiencies that you know, now when I buy it, I'm going to take it to this level.
Yeah.
But taking it to your level will still need a market anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I was saying, it's very critical for us to go the service-oriented path. You know, if you look at Rwanda, Rwanda doesn't have minerals.
Yeah.
If you look at Seychelles, minerals.
Yeah.
If you look at Singapore, Malaysia,
Yeah,
they were
Singapore,
producing solutions for efficiency and effectiveness, just intangibles.
That's always where I thought we were going. Because
Yeah, that's why we are talking about knowledge economy.
Yeah.
Now that we have knowledge economy and then skills. Zimbabwe, over the years, as it was finding hardships, it was sustained by skills. People were skilled there.
Yeah.
Botswana, we are not big in skills, but we are big in knowledge.
Yeah.
Even indigenous knowledge systems. But you know, it's very, very important to understand that the service-led economy, where you are going to package and sell things which are not necessarily tangible, which are less capital intensive.
Yes, sir.
But very effective in terms of, it's something that will be the future of this country. The other thing is the Khotla system. You know, the Khotla system, as I said earlier, it's a performance management system concept.
Yes, sir.
But I understand some people have stolen it somewhere in
Europe,
Holland.
yeah.
In Europe. You should go and take it. You should go to the intellectual property courts globally.
Yeah.
If they're there, and retain this thing. Because we can then teach us, just like we are teaching performance management systems, like work improvement teams, your balance scorecards, your whatever.
There's someone who was talking about it on a TED Talk, including the horseshoe formation.
Exactly.
All of those things.
You understand? So where we are, as Botswana, we are at crossroads. We need to understand that it's not going to get better before it gets very worse. And this is where we're going to be. And this is the time that we have to have a national conversation, a proper dialogue. This constitutional court thing should be changed to become a national dialogue in terms of how do we then look at our economy. And put aside the constitutional court for now. You understand? And if you ask me about the constitutional court, is another subject that we have to discuss about it. But at the end of the day, I strongly believe we have one opportunity as a country to unite economically. And there is also a challenge that you might be facing soon, which is nutrition economics. Nutrition economics.
Yes, sir.
You know what's up? I can say. I get.
For real?
Yeah, nutrition economics. Yeah, it's up. These people. These you know.
Malutu can't say. Where can I get to malutu? That was delicious.
Oh
my God, I'm exposing
because
my
it was
age.
very delicious.
No,
they
malutu
used to call it.
No, malutu.
Bona no gona le kana you know how tla re so se monate to se bidwa maina ha kama ntsi kana maluti na bidwa that I remember.
Yes, sir.
Na bidwa go te daikolopetsi matonosa dai high mukongolo.
Oh my God. Yeah, no timpetsa how heditse.
You know, and the
Yes,
guys
sir.
used to be tough.
Yes.
But because the nutrition economics was balanced.
Yes, sir.
You know, a lot of from it's how you start everything that you can actually attain whatever you want to get at the end of whatever that you're doing.
Yeah.
So, in this nutrition economy, I was informed that in certain areas in Botswana there was a problem of malnutrition.
Yeah, malnutrition. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a problem already. Also, you understand? Then the whole nutrition economy should not only be at the level of Tabana at the young age or whatever. Even though le momitsi mbagolo le nna tot ke rata Tabana wa bona. I don't have a young kid.
Delicious.
But I like mana Tabana ka mo kopanyana gore. But the nutrition economy goes up when people have been given an opportunity to 1 hectare. Yeah, it's 1 hectare of the current government. BDP used to allow you 4 hectares. The current government is 1 hectare. So that nutrition economy is going to sink in somewhere along the way. You see now 3 hectares out. You see, and now it's 1 hectare. And then there's El Nino. When there was only 1 hectare, and others did not, because for them they were asking themselves, how much am I going to get and all that, and what have you. So again, is it efficient? We are talking about efficiency. Is it efficient for me to take my tractor to Masimo? 1 hectare. You understand what I'm saying? So others maybe marapo and all that. So it means if you are not careful, you are going to be facing another challenge in as far as the nutrition economics is concerned going forward. And when that happens, we'll have to buy from your Brazils and others. And if there's no money to buy, then it means there's strife.
And famine.
And
we don't need that.
And at the end of the day, for me, we pray God that it doesn't get to there.
Yeah.
But I wish there could be a round table of all ideas brought together. But at the end of the day, we always center everything around politics. The ruling party, you don't want advice from anybody else. I'm not saying it's new. It might have happened even in the past.
Yeah.
But when things become tougher, we should have different conversations.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you've heard that I'm very concerned about the failures of the current government and the failure to ramp up the expectation of Botswana to take to another level. I'm very concerned about the fact that what you were promised as Botswana, you are not getting. And we cannot wait. You know what? So it's very important for us to have this conversation as to how are you going to survive the challenges of tomorrow. And hate is also a pandemic. Jealousy in Botswana, hate, despise, lies, and misuse of social media. It's a pandemic. And I want to say to the youth, they should learn to use social media effectively.
Yes, sir.
They should trade with it. They should create content that can attract people to them to be able to trade with that which is their intellectual capital. Rather than insulting. Even when I leave this thing, people are going to be insulted. Yes, Satan, you know, this then there's nonsense. They wouldn't listen to certain things that they could pick and advise on.
I never understand that.
And expand.
I never understand why there's so much animosity against differing ideas.
No, they shouldn't be. But personally, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
You can shout at me and say whatever. I could have been looking at the newspaper, but look at this, I will never get my view. These are my views. You see, because these are my views. You understand? Yes.
No, I really, really appreciate it.
Yes.
I mean, we could talk for 4 hours. I think we just hit hour 2. So I'm going to have you wrap it up because we're definitely going to have you come back.
Yes, definitely.
Because we absolutely enjoy, your point of view as well. My last question would be, what is your message to BDP supporters who are divided and uncertain about the party's future, and also your last message to Botswana in general, across party lines as well?
You see, my message to the BDP members will be that the BDP is a party that built and nurtured this country for 58 years. And the BDP is not an object that is just there. The BDP is its people. The BDP is its supporters. And of all the supporters of the BDP, they should know that there are other Botswana who look at us as an institution to see whether we'll be able to respond to their requirements. Can we revive ourselves? Can you renew ourselves? Yes, you should know that at any given time, plus minus 600, up to 700,000 people who are eligible to vote, neither register or register and not vote. About 700 or more. So those people, they do that because they are looking at institutions that are supposed to be leading and say, can we associate ourselves with that? Can we trust those? I think this is an opportunity for us to reflect and look at what has gone wrong in the past and the opportunities ahead, and unite and put aside. You can promote internal discussions, but let's not make it a habit that it becomes, we hang our dating linen in public, because that will then reduce the interest of those that want to come to us and contribute, because they might be having ideas that they believe should be received in a certain manner, and they could be maybe thinking, once I propose this, I might just get a backlash. So unity, boto, responsiveness, and knowing that Botswana still hope that at some point we will be able to be a voice of reason. So we should unite. And Botswana, I'm saying that these are hard times. These are hard times, but we should understand that we've gone through many, many challenges. Many, many times. We've had Lubala 1980, and we've had COVID, we've had HIV and AIDS. And during the times of BDP, those used to come and go. We used to fight them. And let's hope that whatever is happening right now will be history at some point.
Yes, sir.
But we need all our hands on deck. Everybody, as I said, let's reduce the negativity that we always exert out there and look at the positive, things and see how we can build each other. Let's be building blocks as opposed to be dynamites that blow everything out of proportion.
Yes, sir.
So having said that, thank you so very much, my brother.
Thank you so much.
And then Yeah, you know, I want to come back here.
I will
And I'm gonna
definitely make sure. We'll definitely
But I'll be
make
back
sure.
here very soon. I know I have a few friends. I don't have, yeah, you never see me on weekends.
No.
Yeah, so, because I don't like going where you go.
No, I'm indoors, guys.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm indoors.
So, but I'll come here. I like this place.
Yes,
like
sir.
I said, it brings back the
faithful
memories
days.
of the
Kati ke
faithful
plot
memories.
Mankana.
23861. Yeah, when you leave this
Faithful.
place and you go that way, currently there's a double story there.
Oh, hona kuni ha.
Hakone ha.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hakive. Oh,
Yeah.
it's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, no, he's just there. Yeah. Yes.
No,
yeah.
we really
and actually,
appreciate
my brother, one of them, stays in the street.
Hey.
Yeah, so there's history here.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you so very much.
We really appreciate
Yeah.
you, Mr. Balopi, for talking to us, guys. That's the president of the Botswana Democratic Party. It's been a dope conversation, man. You learn something new every single time. Remember, stay locked onto the Local Corner Multimedia YouTube page, like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys next week, same time, same place. We out. Peace.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
People of different identities.